My apartment in Eden Prairie feels like a cave. Dark curtains are drawn against the weak December sun, and a monument of takeout containers is stacked on the coffee table. My phone lies face down, a silent protest against the blank space where Ryan's name should be. It's been 2 months since he left. 2 months since he discovered I'd been lying to him every single week for almost a year. 2 months since he looked at me like I was a stranger and said the words that replay in my mind every night. If you can lie about this, what else are you lying about? The answer was nothing. I'd never lied to him about anything else. Never cheated, never even thought about it. But try explaining that to someone who just found out you've been creating elaborate alibis for your best friend's affair. Try convincing them that just because you helped someone else betray their spouse doesn't mean you'd do the same. Ryan was the best thing in my life, and I threw him away for a friend who dropped me the second her secret came out anyway. Now I'm 31, alone, and finally understanding that loyalty to the wrong person is just another form of betrayal. I need to go back to explain how I got here. Back to when I still had Ryan, still had Chloe as my best friend, still had some shred of integrity left. Ryan and I met 3 years ago at a work conference in Minneapolis. I was working in marketing for a medical device company. He was in software development for a healthcare startup. We bonded over terrible conference coffee, and even worse, keynote speakers. I think that guy just used synergy 17 times in one sentence, Ryan whispered during a particularly painful presentation. 18, I corrected. You missed one when you were checking your phone. You were counting. It's either that or fall asleep. We spent the rest of the conference together. Not romantically at first, just 2 people making the best of corporate mandatory fun. But by the last night, when we were walking along the Mississippi River, something shifted. I don't want this to end when the conference does, he said. Eden Prairie is only 20 minutes from Minneapolis, I pointed out. Is that an invitation? It's a geographical fact. What you do with that information is up to you. He called the next day. We had our first official date that weekend. Within 6 months, he'd moved in with me. Everything about Ryan was easy in the best way. He was steady without being boring, ambitious without being obsessive, caring without being clingy. He had this way of making ordinary moments special. Dancing with me while dinner cooked, leaving notes in my lunch bag, sending me memes that only we understood. My best friend Chloe loved him immediately. Finally, she said after meeting him, a guy who deserves you. Chloe and I had been friends since college. She was the sister I never had, the person who knew all my secrets and loved me anyway. When she married Paul 5 years ago, I was her maid of honor. When they bought their house in Eden Prairie, she made sure it was only 10 minutes from my apartment. We had standing Tuesday wine nights, Saturday morning yoga classes, and a friendship that had survived bad boyfriends, family drama, and career changes, which is why when she showed up at my door last January, crying and shaking, I didn't hesitate to help. I did something terrible, she sobbed, collapsing on my couch. Ryan was at a gaming night with friends, so it was just us. I made her tea, wrapped her in a blanket, and waited for her to calm down enough to talk. I slept with someone else, she finally whispered. What? When? Who? His name is Alex. He's a trainer at the gym. It just happened. Chloe, affairs don't just happen. I know, God, I know. Paul and I have been having problems. He's always working, we barely talk anymore, and Alex was there and interested and married, I guessed. How did you know? Because single men don't make married women cry like this. They don't have as much to lose. She nodded miserably. His wife is pregnant. 6 months. I'm a monster. I should have told her to end it. Should have said she needed to come clean to Paul or end the affair immediately. Instead, I held her while she cried and promised to keep her secret. Because that's what best friends do, right? They keep each other's secrets. It's over, she swore. It was just once, a mistake. I'll never do it again. But of course, it wasn't over. 2 weeks later, she needed me to cover for her. I told Paul I'm having dinner with you Thursday, she said. Can you back me up if he asks? Chloe, please, just this once. I need to see Alex to end things properly, in person. I owe him that. You owe Paul the truth. I know, but I can't tell him. It would destroy him, destroy us. I just need to close this chapter and move forward. Please, Tori, you're my best friend. So I agreed. Just once. What harm could it do? Ryan noticed I was distracted that Thursday. You okay? He asked as we made dinner. You seem off. Just work stuff, I lied. The first of so many lies. Chloe's coming over later, girls' night. Cool, I'll go to Mike's, give you space. He kissed me goodbye, trusting and unsuspecting, while my best friend was across town in a hotel with her trainer. When Paul texted asking if Chloe was with me, I responded immediately, yes! We're halfway through a bottle of wine and a terrible reality show. Tell her I love her, he replied. I screenshotted and sent it to Chloe. She responded with a heart emoji and, you're the best friend ever. That should have been the end, but addicts always need just one more hit, and affairs are their own kind of addiction. I need you to cover for me again, Chloe said 2 weeks later. Just dinner, I swear. You said once. I know, but Alex wants closure too. His wife found out about some flirting and is suspicious. We need to end things carefully so no one gets hurt. People are already hurt. You're just trying to avoid consequences. Please, Tori. I can't lose Paul. I love him. Then stop cheating on him. I will after Thursday. But Thursday became every Thursday, then some Tuesdays, the occasional Saturday afternoon, each time with a new excuse, a new reason why this had to be the last time. And each time I covered for her, created elaborate lies about where we were, what we were doing. I became an expert at deception by proxy. The guilt ate at me. Every time Paul thanked me for being such a good friend to Chloe, every time Ryan talked about how lucky we were to have found each other, how trust was the foundation of everything, every time I had to lie to the man I loved to protect a friend who was destroying her own relationship. I don't like this, I told Chloe in March. It's been 3 months. You need to stop. I know, I hate myself, but when I'm with Alex, you feel alive? Special? Like your marriage isn't dying? Yes, exactly. You understand. No, I don't. Because I would never do this to Ryan. Never. You say that now. But you don't know what it's like. 7 years of marriage, Tori. 7 years of the same person, the same routine, the same everything. You and Ryan are still in the honeymoon phase. We're not. We just respect each other. Must be nice to be so perfect. The resentment in her voice should have been my final warning, but I kept helping, kept lying, kept telling myself I was being a good friend. Ryan started noticing the pattern. Another girls' night? He asked one Thursday in April. That's the 3rd this month. Chloe's going through something. She needs me. Is she okay? Is Paul okay? They're working through some stuff. Anything I can help with? His genuine concern made me feel sick. No, it's just girl stuff, I said, forcing a smile. You know, I don't actually. You used to tell me everything. I still do. Do you? He looked at me searchingly. Because lately it feels like you're somewhere else. Even when you're here. That's not true. You check your phone constantly. You're distracted. You whisper on calls. If I didn't trust you completely, I'd think... Think what? Nothing. Forget it. I trust you. Those 3 words, I trust you, felt like knives. Because he did trust me, completely. And I was betraying that trust every week, even if it wasn't in the way he might suspect. I tried to pull back from Chloe. Started saying no to some cover requests. But she'd panic, beg, remind me of all the times she'd been there for me. Remember when Derek cheated on you senior year? Who held you while you cried? Who keyed his car? That was different. Remember when your dad had his heart attack? Who drove 4 hours to be with you at the hospital? Chloe, I've been your best friend for 10 years. 10 years! And you can't do this one thing for me? So I kept doing it. Kept lying. Kept watching Ryan's trust in me erode bit by bit, even as he tried to deny it. The explosion came in September. We were at a barbecue at Mike and Sarah's house. Paul was there too, talking about how grateful he was that Chloe had such a supportive friend. These Tuesday and Thursday dinners really help her decompress, he told the group. Work's been killing her lately. Tuesday and Thursday? Sarah asked. I thought book club was Wednesday. Book club? Paul looked confused. Chloe's book club is Mondays. No, Sarah insisted. It's Wednesday. Tori, you're in it too, right? Everyone looked at me. Ryan's eyes narrowed slightly. We sometimes meet different days, I stammered. But you said Thursday was always girls' night with Chloe, Ryan said slowly. Every Thursday for months. It is. And Tuesday yoga, Paul added, pieces clicking. But the gym said Chloe hasn't been to Tuesday yoga since January when I called to surprise her with a smoothie delivery. The silence stretched. I could feel Ryan staring at me, could see the wheels turning in his head. We should go, I said quickly. I'm not feeling well. The car ride home was silent. Ryan's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. When we got to the apartment, he went straight to the bedroom and started pulling up phone records on his laptop. What are you doing? Checking something. His voice was eerily calm. All those Thursdays you were with Chloe. You always texted me from her house, right? Ryan .. But look at the cell tower data. You were here, in our apartment, alone. I can explain. Were you covering for her? I couldn't speak. Couldn't lie to his face when he was looking at me with such hurt and confusion. Jesus Christ, Tori. She's having an affair, isn't she? And you've been helping her. I was trying to be a good friend. A good friend? A good friend tells her to stop. A good friend doesn't enable betrayal. I never betrayed you. No? What do you call lying to me every week? What do you call looking me in the eye and making up stories about girls' nights that never happened? That's different. How? Explain to me how lying is different from lying. But I wasn't cheating. But you were comfortable with cheating. Comfortable enough to help someone else do it, to lie for it, to make me an accomplice to it. You're not an accomplice. I am. Every time Paul thanked me for letting you and Chloe have your nights, every time I told him how lucky he was to have such an understanding wife, I was helping you help her betray him. That makes me part of this. He was pacing now, raking his hands through his hair, the full weight of my deception crashing down on him, on us. How long? He asked. Since January. 9 months. You've been lying to me for 9 months. Not about us. Stop saying that. If you can lie to me about this, if you can look me in the eye week after week and tell stories that aren't true, then how do I know what else you're capable of? Ryan, please. I would never cheat on you. Would you help me if I did? Would you create alibis and cover stories? No. But you did it for her. She's my best friend. And what am I? What is Paul? Don't we deserve friends who value honesty, who protect our relationships instead of helping destroy them? He was right. Every word was right. But I was too deep in my own justifications to admit it. I was put in an impossible position, I argued. She needed me. I needed you. I needed a partner who valued truth, who understood that trust isn't partial. You don't get to be honest about some things and lie about others. It doesn't work that way. You're overreacting. Am I? Tell me, Tori, if I'd been meeting my ex-girlfriend every week and having Mike cover for me, tell you we were at sports bars or gaming, would you be okay with that? Even if I swore nothing physical happened? That's different. Because it's me instead of you? Or because you've convinced yourself that your lies were noble? He grabbed an overnight bag from the closet, started throwing clothes in. Where are you going? Mike's, I need to think. Ryan, please. Let's talk about this. We've been talking. But you're not hearing me. You don't even think you did anything wrong. I was protecting my friend. You were enabling a liar, and you became one in the process. He stopped at the door, looked back at me with a disappointment so pure it took my breath away. I loved you, Tori. Trusted you completely. Do you know how rare that is? To find someone you never doubt? You still can trust me. No, I can't, because now I'll always wonder. Every girls' night, every work event, every time you're not where you say you'll be, I'll wonder if you're lying, if you're covering for someone, if you're doing something you'll justify later as being a good friend. That's not fair. Fair? Was it fair to make me live in a false reality for 9 months? Was it fair to Paul, to Alex's pregnant wife? Where was fair in any of this? He left. I called Chloe immediately, hysterical. Ryan figured it out. He's leaving me. You have to help. I can't talk right now, she said, panic in her voice. Paul's asking questions too, about yoga, about Thursdays. I think he knows. Chloe, my relationship is falling apart because of you. Because of me? I didn't make you lie. You chose to. You begged me to. And you could have said no. Don't put this on me, Tori. You're a grown woman who made her own choices. She hung up. When I called back, it went straight to voicemail. Ryan came back 3 days later to get more of his things. He was calm, resolved, which was somehow worse than anger. I'm moving in with Mike temporarily while I find my own place, he said, not meeting my eyes. Ryan, please. Can we try counseling? Anything? I've been thinking about this a lot. And the problem isn't just the lying, it's what the lying represents. What do you mean? You have a fundamental different view of loyalty than I do, of integrity. You think being a good friend means supporting someone no matter what they do. I think being a good friend means calling them out when they're wrong. I tried. Not hard enough. Not if you kept covering for 9 months. And what scares me is that you still don't see it. You still think you were being noble. I was trying to help. Who? Not Paul, not Alex's wife, not their kids, not me. You were helping Chloe avoid consequences. That's not friendship. That's enabling. So that's it? 3 years together and you're just walking away? You walked away first. Every time you lied to me. Every time you chose her secrets over our trust. You've been walking away for months. I'm just making it official. I love you. I know, I love you too. But love without trust is just pain waiting to happen. And I can't live wondering when the next lie will come, what the next thing you'll justify will be. He took his things and left. I thought maybe he'd cool down, realize he was overreacting, come back. But weeks passed with no contact. When I drove by Mike's house, Ryan's car was gone. He moved to Minneapolis, Sarah told me when I finally broke down and asked. Got his own place. He's trying to move on, Tori. You should let him. Meanwhile, my friendship with Chloe imploded spectacularly. Paul had hired a private investigator who documented everything. The affair, the lies, my involvement. In the divorce papers, I was listed as an accomplice to the deception, my name there in legal documents, as someone who helped destroy a marriage. Chloe blamed me for not being more careful. I blamed her for putting me in that position. We haven't spoken since October. Last I heard, she moved back to Iowa to live with her parents. Alex stayed with his wife, who had their baby. A little girl who will grow up in a family touched by betrayal. And me? I'm alone in Eden Prairie with a reputation as the woman who helped her best friend cheat. The woman who lied to her boyfriend every week for almost a year. The woman who chose friendship over integrity and lost both. I've tried dating, but the question, what happened with your last boyfriend, is a landmine. There's no way to explain it without revealing myself for what I am. Someone who was comfortable with deception. Someone who justified lies as loyalty. Someone who helped destroy a marriage and ruined her own relationship in the process. Sometimes I drive past the restaurant where Ryan and I had our first date. It's closed now, replaced by a chain pharmacy. Fitting, really. Everything about that version of my life is gone, paved over by consequences I earned. Ryan's social media is private now, but Mike's isn't. I saw a photo from last month, Ryan at some party, laughing with a woman I don't recognize. She's pretty with an honest face and kind eyes, the type who probably would never lie for a friend's affair, the type who understands that real loyalty means holding people accountable, not enabling their worst choices. I want to be angry. Want to blame Chloe for putting me in this position, Ryan for not understanding, Paul for not being a better husband. But late at night when I can't sleep and the apartment feels like it's closing in, I know the truth. I made every choice, every lie, every Thursday I said I was with Chloe when she was with Alex, every text to Paul about our fake girls' nights, every time I looked Ryan in the eye and chose deception over truth. I would never cheat, I'd told him. And I didn't. But I helped someone else do it. I normalized betrayal. I made lying seem like loyalty. I showed him that my integrity was negotiable if the price was friendship. Now I pay that price every day. Every morning waking up alone, every dinner for one, every time I pass a couple holding hands and remember when that was us. Chloe was wrong. Affairs don't just happen. They're built, lie by lie, choice by choice, with the help of people who should know better. People like me who mistake enabling for friendship and wonder why we end up alone. I still have the key to Ryan's heart on my keychain. Not literally. I'm sure he changed the locks. But the little silver heart keychain he gave me for our first anniversary. For keeping my heart safe, he'd said. I failed at that. Failed to keep his heart safe from the damage that comes from broken trust. Failed to understand that protecting someone means protecting them from your own bad choices too. My therapist says I need to forgive myself, that everyone makes mistakes. But this wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern. Week after week of choosing lies over truth, Chloe over Ryan, false loyalty over real integrity. The worst part is that I can't even say I'd do differently if given the chance. Because I told myself every week that next time would be different. Next time I'd say no. Next time I'd choose truth. And every week, I chose the lie instead. So I sit in my empty apartment in Eden Prairie, surrounded by the ghosts of better choices. The woman who had everything and threw it away not for passion or adventure, but for a friend who disappeared the moment the lies came crashing down. Ryan was right. If you can lie about one thing, what else are you capable of? I guess now I know. I'm capable of destroying the best thing in my life for someone who wasn't worth it, capable of justifying anything in the name of friendship, capable of becoming someone I don't recognize one Thursday at a time. The December snow falls outside, covering Eden Prairie in white like a fresh start. But some things can't be covered over. Some choices can't be undone. Some trust, once broken, stays broken forever. And somewhere in Minneapolis, the man who loved me is learning to trust again, with someone who understands that real love means never making them wonder what else you're lying about. I helped my best friend betray her husband. I never touched another man, never even thought about it. But I betrayed Ryan just the same. Betrayed him with every lie, every cover story, every time I chose Chloe's secret over our truth. Now I live with the consequences. No Ryan, no Chloe, no one to blame but the woman in the mirror who thought lying for a friend made her loyal. Turns out it just made her alone.